my god, this is so light. It's just so comfortable to hold. Wow. Yo! Oh my god, the phone that I have been dreaming for almost 2 years. iPhone 10 display, bezel-less display on an iPhone 5S body. Just amazing. Yeah, so this is the iPhone 12 mini, just launched by Apple. So this is the first small phone with the latest processor that Apple launches alongside other flagship models. Well, of course, with a few compromises. I will tell you about it later in the video. First, let's appreciate how compact it is. And look at this, my thumb can touch my middle finger. You can't do that with any other phone, trust me. At least you can't do that in the current flagship models. Well, don't you just miss those days that flagship phone comes in 5 to around 5.5 inch of screen size? Those models are getting rarer these days. Most of the new 5-inch phone out there are just in the middle tier. You don't get to enjoy the latest processor or the best screen or a good camera systems. Well, for the record, I'm not saying big phones are bad. I'm just saying small phone lovers like us should get to enjoy the flagship specs as well. Alright, let's talk about camera. Some of you might be comparing the 2 camera system with the 12 Pro 3 camera systems. Yes, the iPhone 12 Pro series has an extra telephoto lens, but it's not really a really helpful lens actually. It's a less light gathering lens, so it might not be a good lens for pro photographers compared to the main camera. And trust me, most of the time you won't be using that telephoto lens. In fact, there are already videos out there that shows the side-by-side photo comparison between the 12 mini and the 12 Pro Max. And you really just notice a slight differences between the two photos if you compare it side by side. If you look at the photo one at a time, I don't think you probably won't notice any difference at all. I will put a link to the video that talks about this. Okay, since there are already plenty of videos out there that shows the photo difference between 12 mini and the 12 Pro Max, so I thought I might show the difference between the 12 mini and 11 Pro instead, so you can decide if it's worth an upgrade from the iPhone 11. Alright, now to the compromises that I mentioned earlier. Well, of course, it's a mini series. It's not really the flagship of Apple. Of course, there are a few compromises that we have to make. So first of all, which is the battery life. I'm sure you have already seen this issue through many videos, through many reviews already. The battery life, they only last around maximum 4 hours of screen time, which is in the current standard, it's really, I can say it's below average. Yeah, because you have phones that can have average screen time of 5 hours, even 6 to 7 hours. If you are going out in the morning with a full charge and you have activities all the way till late night, your phone probably won't survive. You probably need a power bank in the middle to charge your phone. So that's unfortunate. Well, because of the smaller body, hence the smaller battery. So I would say it's not for the power user. If you are a guy that goes out the entire day without a power bank, then I would advise not to get this phone. Second compromise, it supports MagSafe wireless charging, but at a slower rate. So iPhone 12 mini charge at MagSafe at 12 watts compared to the 15 watts in the 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max. It will still charge to 100% probably at the same speed as 12 or 12 Pro because it has a smaller battery capacity. So that is fine actually. And the last compromise, it has only 4 GB of RAM as compared with the 12 or 12 Pro Max, it has 6 GB. So it has a lesser RAM inside. Again, if you're not a power user, I think that is totally fine. 4 GB of RAM, given the efficiency of the iOS, it will handle app in the background efficiently, even just with 4 GB of RAM. With that, there are still things that I wish this phone would have. One of them is the 120Hz screen refresh rate. Second wish list is obviously the charging port, USB-C. They're still using Lightning port, but hopefully next year they will change it to USB-C. Third wish list, Touch ID in the power button. Well, they already have this in their iPad Air 4th generations, so I think they can port it over to the iPhone, but I don't understand why they don't want to do it yet. Because it's the COVID pandemic right now, most of us are wearing masks out there, so the Face ID don't really works well. So I really wish it has a Touch ID on the power button so we can literally unlock with our finger. And last but not least is a bigger battery. So if it's had a bigger battery, you probably can use this phone outside in the entire day without a power bank. Alright, one last piece of advice that I would like to give about this phone. Don't get this phone if you always watch video on phone, if you always edit photo on phone, if you always game on phone, and lastly, if you have a huge finger, you might want to avoid this because it's a smaller screen, the keyboard is smaller, so your big thumb might get a lot of typos. And lastly, this will be my main phone from now onwards, so I will be gathering thoughts over the week or months, and then I will have a more proper review, my honest feedback about this phone. So please do subscribe to me if you want to follow up on this phone. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you. See ya.